Hey guys, I'm Dave Hackett, and this is a book called UFO in the USA. It is the sequel, the first ever sequel to the UFO book, which was called UFO. This is UFO in the USA, Unavoidable Family Outing 2. Now let me read you a little bit. I'll read to you from page 34. There are many words on page 34. And here we find the family. They're just climbing onto the planes. They're about to go to America. They've never been on a plane before. And we have the youngest brother, who is the narrator of the story, and we don't know his name yet. So there's him, there's middle sister Sally, there's the older sister Jess, who is of course passionately and madly in love with Brad. Here's how it's working. With our onboard luggage, armloads of pillows, and Brad's random grunts to accompany us, we ambled down the corridor, found our seats and buckled up. With dumb luck on my side, I found myself sitting right next to Brad. Sally was across the aisle from me with Jess to her left. Mum and Dad were directly behind them. "What? This can't be," Jess said. "This won't do. It just will not do." She glared at Sally. "I will not sit next to this child when my almost man is seated but a few seats yonder away. We've loved on land, but how will our love survive 10 million feet in the air if we're not able to witness each other's heartbeats from a close distance?" "Hey, it's okay, Jess," Brad said, fiddling with his seatbelt. "We can still air pash." I'll just break in there and just underline that. He said we can still air pash. Picture that. They stared at each other for a moment, locked in a distant love embrace, then closed their eyes. Heads wobbling, lips pursed, 2 seats and 1 aisle apart, their mouths opened. In the afternoon sunlight that was beaming through his oval window, Brad's braces, dripping with saliva, glistened like a heavily marinated steak on a hot barbecue. I looked across at Jess. With a wordless invitation, her tongue had begun to creep its way past her lips and out of her mouth. I turned to Brad, and his big pink teenage tongue had done the same and was now flapping wildly from side to side. It was frightening. Sally and I were caught in the middle of an untamed tongue fest. I had to stop it. I did the only thing I could think of. I reached down, tore off my left shoe, and held it in front of Brad's face. He licked it passionately for a moment, then opened his eyes and spat on my arm. "Oh, Brad, that was totally several-dimensional," Jess said, opening her eyes. "But if I can't be seated next to you, I fear that our hearts may lose their powerful magnetism towards each other," she wailed. "What?" I said to Jess. "If you think you've got it bad, take a close look up at me. I'm the one who physically has to sit next to him, and he stinks." "He does not stink," Jess screeched, causing the cardigan-wearing lady to her left to drop several stitches of her knitting. "Yeah, I do not," Brad said. He raised an arm and bravely sniffed his armpit. "Oh, geez, nah, he's right, Jess. I do. I totally stink, hey?" Brad giggled to himself and then sniffed his pits again.